The galaxy still whispered about the day humanity disappeared. Some said they were destroyed. Others claimed they ran. But the truth was stranger. No one really knew. Captain Aaron Vale remembered the last transmission he'd ever heard from Earth. A quiet voice, trembling yet steady. "We are leaving. Do not follow." Then silence. That was almost a century ago. Now Aaron stood inside the observation deck of the Kithorian cruiser Jazzle, staring out at the drifting stars. His crew talked softly behind him, worried, guessing, gossiping. Something had disturbed the ancient borders. Something had returned. "Captain," his second officer murmured, stepping closer. "We picked up the same anomaly again. Same coordinates. Same signature." Aaron didn't answer immediately. Part of him hoped it wasn't real. He had studied human history his entire life. How they built fast, learned fast, adapted faster than any species he knew. And how the Council feared them for it. "What did sensors show?" Aaron finally asked. The officer swallowed. "A displacement in spacetime. Not natural. Not any known empire's technology." Aaron's stomach tightened. "Put it on screen." The view shifted. A tear of blue light shimmered across the dark, like a wound slowly opening. A low vibration ran through the ship. Even from a distance it felt deliberate. Someone behind him whispered, "That can't be them, can it?" Aaron didn't reply. His heart already knew. Humans never came back quietly, and they never returned weak. The tear widened, sending ripples through the void. Something massive moved behind the glowing rift, still hidden in the blinding light. Aaron took a slow breath, his voice barely above a whisper. "They're back." But even he wasn't prepared for what would emerge. The rift stabilized with a deep, echoing pulse, felt more in the bones than the ears. The bridge lights flickered. Warning symbols flashed across the screens, but none of the crew spoke. They were frozen, staring. Out of the blazing tear drifted a shape, huge, angular, silent. A ship, but no ship built by any empire. Its surface shimmered like living metal, bending light as if the vessel wasn't fully part of this reality. Aaron stepped closer to the glass, breath-catching. "It's beautiful," someone whispered. Another officer shook his head slowly. "It's impossible." Aaron had seen human ships in archives, old, rugged, built for efficiency. This was something else entirely, sleek, predatory, ancient, and newborn at the same time. Like it had been forged in a place that didn't follow the galaxy's rules. A soft chime rang through the bridge. Communications officer Lyra paled. "Captain, it's transmitting." Aaron's pulse jumped. "Put it through." For a heartbeat, nothing. Then a gentle hum, like distant thunder. A voice followed, calm, human, unmistakably human. "This is the vessel Astrius. To any who receive this, stand down. We return with peace, if peace is offered." Lyra covered her mouth. "It is them." The voice continued. "We were cast out, forgotten, judged, but we endured. And what waits behind us is not darkness, but strength." Aaron felt a chill. A quiet fear crept into the room. Not the fear of battle, but the fear of witnessing something unstoppable. "Captain," Lyra whispered, "their power signature. It's beyond anything I've ever seen. If they wanted, they could cut this entire sector apart." Aaron nodded slowly. But they didn't. On the screen, the massive ship turned slightly, revealing glowing runes etched along its hull, symbols no one recognized. Humanity had not merely returned. They had evolved. The council meeting chamber felt colder than usual. 12 holographic figures hovered around the circular table, murmuring in panic. Reports streamed in, fleets detecting the Astrius, systems going dark, communications overwhelmed by its energy field. "Humanity was supposed to be gone," shouted the Torvian delegate. "We exiled them for a reason. Perhaps exile made them stronger," muttered another. Aaron stood in the center as a guest, his image projected from the Jazzle. He watched them argue, each empire choking on the same fear. "Order!" barked the High Chancellor, slamming a staff. "Captain Vale, you saw them first. Speak." Aaron took a breath. The humans did not arrive with weapons ready. They've made no hostile move. Yet their ship could crush entire armadas, the Chancellor snapped. Yes, Aaron admitted. But they chose not to. Silence. The Chthorian delegate leaned forward. What did they say? Aaron replayed the message. The chamber dimmed as the human voice echoed through it. Stand down. We return with peace. If peace is offered. For a moment no one breathed. A slender Vexery representative spoke softly. It sounds like an invitation, or a threat wrapped in courtesy, someone hissed. The Chancellor turned to Aaron. Do you believe them? Aaron hesitated, not because of doubt, but because of the weight of his belief. Yes, he said finally. Humans are dangerous, yes, but they are also loyal, relentless in their promises. If they say peace, they mean peace. If they say otherwise, they mean that too, finished a counselor quietly. Another report flashed. A second anomaly. Another human ship is emerging. The Chancellor's eyes widened with dread and awe. How many of them survived exile? Aaron felt his chest tighten as the screen revealed the new vessel larger, more alien, more advanced. Enough, he whispered. To change everything, the Astrius drifted into neutral space, glowing like a star that refused to burn out. Aaron's cruiser kept a cautious distance as he attempted contact again. Human vessel Astrius, this is Captain Aaron Vale. The Council requests dialogue. A pause. Then the human voice returned. Still calm, but carrying something deeper now. Something tired. We expected the Council's fear. We hoped for better. Aaron stepped closer to the console. Fear is natural, but fear is not always refusal. Another silence. Then a different voice came through. Softer. Female. Older. You studied us, Captain. We know your name. You were one of the few who asked why we left. Aaron felt a strange flutter in his chest. I always believed the exile was wrong. And now, she replied gently, you see the result. The Astrius released a wave of light, soft, shimmering, harmless. Aaron's sensors filled with data so complex his ship struggled to interpret it. What are you doing? He asked. Sharing knowledge, the woman said. A gift, a sign of trust. The crew around him gasped as their screens shifted. Ancient star routes, unknown elements, energy patterns beyond modern science. Aaron whispered, You surpassed us all. No, she replied. We simply went where no empire dared to go. Aaron swallowed. Will you speak with the council? We will, she said quietly. But truthfully, we did not return for them. Aaron frowned. Then why come back at all? The woman's voice softened, almost like a memory. Because home is not a place that abandons you. And we refuse to abandon the people who were never given a choice. Before Aaron could respond, new alarms rang across the ship. But this time, the threat wasn't human. It was something far worse. The rift tore open again, violent, unstable, nothing like the calm emergence of the Astrius. Aaron's bridge shook. Sparks flew. His crew scrambled for control. What is that? Lyra shouted. Aaron's eyes widened as shapes crawled out of the swirling darkness. Black, twisted vessels, moving like predators scenting blood. They weren't from any empire. They followed us, whispered the woman from the Astrius. Her voice was steady, but grief threaded through it. We hoped they wouldn't. Aaron forced his voice to stay calm. Who are they? A species that doesn't speak, doesn't negotiate. They consumed entire regions we fled through. They are the reason humanity changed. The alien ships released a screeching signal that made Aaron's head pound. His crew clutched their ears. The Astrius moved instantly, no hesitation, no warning. A wave of light erupted from its hull, forming a shimmering shield between the predators and Aaron's cruiser. Captain Vale, the woman said. Fall back. We will hold them. Aaron's jaw clenched. We're not leaving you alone. You can't fight them, she replied. Not with the weapons you have. Aaron stared at the monstrous ships clawing their way into real space. Then teach us. There was a brief silence. Then, Very well. The Astrius pulsed again. A beam of energy streamed into Aaron's systems, codes, schematics, weapon blueprints so advanced they looked like riddles written by stars. Your ship will adapt, the woman said. Fight beside us. Aaron's screens lit up. His weapons hummed with new power. His heart thundered. You could have kept this for yourself, he murmured. And face extinction alone? She answered softly. No. We returned to warn you, to fight with you, to save the galaxy that cast us out. The first alien weapon fired. Aaron fired back. The battle lit the void like a storm of dying suns. Aaron's upgraded cannons roared, tearing through the Predator's armor. The Astrius moved with impossible grace, weaving between blasts, returning fire with cold precision. For the first time in a century, humanity fought not as exiles, but as guardians. Aaron's ship shook violently. Smoke filled the bridge. Lyra staggered but kept her hands on the controls. Captain, 3 hostiles left. Stay with me, Aaron shouted. Target the wounded one. The Astrius unleashed a final, blinding surge. One by one, the enemy ships collapsed in on themselves, torn apart by forces Aaron didn't fully understand. Then silence. Deep, heavy silence. Aaron let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. Is it over? For now, the woman replied. Her voice carried exhaustion and relief. Aaron looked at the glowing silhouette of the Astrius. You saved us. And you fought beside us, she said. That is what matters. The council sent frantic messages, questions, orders, demands, but none of them mattered in this moment. Humanity had returned, not broken, not vengeful, but carrying a strength that could shelter the entire galaxy. Aaron hesitated, then asked the question that had lingered since the beginning. What happens now? A pause. Then the woman answered with a warmth that reached him through the cold vacuum of space. Now we rebuild together. No more exile. No more fear. Let the galaxy see what unity looks like. Aaron felt something rise in his chest. Hope, rare and unfamiliar. As the Astrius opened a soft beacon of light, guiding damaged ships home, Aaron whispered to himself. They didn't return to conquer. He watched the human vessel drift beside his. They returned to save us. And for the first time in generations, the galaxy realized what humanity truly was, not a threat, but its greatest defense.